What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And today on The Great Debaters, getting into some high roll, Delta Funky Homosapien. Alright, Amir, so we're back here on The Great Debaters. For those that don't know, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It's right down there and it's free. That enables us to keep coming to y'all as often as possible. As many interviews, great debaters, and first and 15th as possible. So please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share it, comment, talk about it, be about it. Each one, teach one. We appreciate your support. Now today, Amir, Delta Funky Homosapien, one of the more, I would say, ingenious and diverse and multi-layered artists in rap history on many levels.
Yeah.
I Wish My Brother George is here. Masterful debut from 91 and 93. He returns, No Need for Alarm. How did you get introduced to this album?
Well, got introduced to this because of Hyro, because of Deltron, actually, because I think I had heard those albums prior to hearing Del's soul discography, but they all happened really around the same era, so I kind of forgetting which happened first. And I listened to this album after his debut, that I know for fact, and still to this day I believe his debut is his best solo album.
I agree.
It's incredible. We did an episode, if Soren will be so kind
There's
to
the
link
link. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, check that one out. Great album. So on this album, he definitely came with a different style, and some of that is actually exhibited on my first track, which is Youre in Shambles. So he kicks off the song with his verse. He starts off saying, "I'm a monster," and that. If you were to say he would have said that like on I Wish My Brother George Here, I would have been like, huh? Like it wouldn't fit on that album, right? With the stuff he was saying on there, with the dark skin girls and Miss Adabalinas and the other tracks on there, Sleeping on My Couch. This one was like kind of more in your face. And he's basically he's already starting off basically saying like, he's better than you, I'm this kind of MC. Just the track name as well, Youre in Shambles, right? So he's basically talking about how he is superior, and this is something that a lot of rappers do, right? But it was not the Del of 91, at least not off my memory. So I thought, okay, Del's coming with a new approach here. You see him more on the cover here with the Hyro logo, whereas on the previous cover, it's the colors, you can't even, it took me a while to even see someone was sitting there, it was like very different. So that is interesting. Snoop also produced this, not Snoop Doggy Dogg, but Snoop from the Hyro.
Extra prolific.
Exactly.
We got an interview with him too. You can check that out. There's the link.
Yep. Shout out to the whole Hyro crew, the direct and extended family. So I thought the beat was really awesome. I really liked how it sounded a little more sinister. I did enjoy that. Del also, he echoes kind of his thoughts on how this person or these MCs are not as good, and he also talks about it later on tracks like Whack MCs, but he has lines in the song where he says, "You had your chance and you blew it." Basically saying like, you had your shot, you had the mic, you had this, and you still couldn't get to my level. So I do like that cockiness a little bit out of Del, because we didn't really see it up to this point. So that was cool. I like the beat. I thought it was a pretty hard intro. That's my first pick.
Well, Amir, we are agreeing. Youre in Shambles is my pick. It's the first track on No Need for Alarm. Snoop, I thought, did a great job. Extra Prolific did a great job on the production, which was a startling departure from working with the Boogeymen from I Wish My Brother George was here. So out the gate, not knowing all the internal workings and how things were going in real time, that was very surprising, because I was expecting it to be more similar to I Wish My Brother George was here, but Youre in Shambles definitely starts it off on a strong point. And like you said, that monster line at the very beginning threw me off too.
Yeah.
And then just him bragging and boasting was so different from the story-driven stuff that dominates at least my favorite songs of I Wish My Brother George was here. But Del has such an interesting vocabulary, interesting tenor, tone of his voice, and interesting delivery. He's very unorthodox, original, and brilliant. So Youre in Shambles right out the gate, I was like, whoa, something's going on here. It's going to be very different, and what are we about to get into? So I was very excited when I was hearing it, and every time I hear it, I still feel that way. But it was a jarring, jaw-dropping revelation for me getting into No Need for Alarm. So that's my first pick. What's your second pick?
So second pick is actually the song right after, and that would be Catch a Bad One, which is one of the singles from the album. Have it on vinyl right here, and on tape right here. So this song, I think, actually may have been the first song that I'd heard from the album, because I heard, somehow I heard this song prior. Don't ask me how, I don't remember. I just remember seeing the video on YouTube at one point. And I also really like the song, and I really like the bass in this track a lot. Casual produced this, also had his own album as well in the early to mid 90s, and Fear Itself, and Dope, member from Hieroglyphics. So that was cool, just that they're keeping this one in-house for a lot of the tracks, and very interesting, right? Like, the production is so different from I Wish My Brother George Was Here, which we were just talking about. Catch a Bad One is just, I like I said, I really love the bass. I love the beat. A little more of the same as Del. Not having as many like concept tracks, but just rapping. So you get to hear a little bit more of Del just rapping. Depending on what style you're into, you may prefer that more to more concept tracks, more storytelling tracks. This would be a little more up your alley. I also like the chorus where he's really shouting out the name of the album. No Need for Alarm, No Need for Alarm, which I think is clever in terms of promotion, because the album is called No Need for Alarm, and he's saying it in the singles chorus, throughout the chorus. So I don't know if that was intentional, who gave him that idea, if that was just him. I don't know. These are just things that I think in my own brain. I'm like, I don't know, did Del think that, or did the label say that, or did someone from Hyro say that? So I always find those things a little fascinating. But yeah, Catch a Bad One is dope. And also just looking at this cover as well, one thing I want to note, Del, it looks like he's wearing Pumas. I can't tell, but he also just looks a little bit more like a skater. You know, he looks just different than other hip-hop artists at the time. So I just find that also interesting. So anyways, second pick.
Catch a Bad One's also my pick. I particularly thought Casual stepping up on the production was amazing, because Casual is such a, in my opinion, ferocious rapper and has such a great voice too, and he's very different from Del in so many ways. So when they work together, especially when Casual collaborates as a lyricist, a rapper, but production-wise, I think people really forget and don't appreciate or remember that the Hyro guys, a lot of them rap and produce, as Del does as well. And I just think, to me, the thing that sticks out so much with Catch a Bad One is that Casual delivers a monster beat on here, and then Del just is so distinctively Del. And I think that's the main thing. Like, his lyrics and his phraseology and his vocabulary is so unusual, and how he breaks things down is pretty great. And the fact that he's just bragging and boasting for the most part, that was pretty interesting and very unusual, given what I was expecting to get from Del. But I really liked it, which, you know, because it's great. So that's my second pick. Amir, what's your third pick on No Need for Alarm?
Third pick is going to be another single. And you were just talking about how Del also produced on the album, and he produced this track, Wrong Place. Also on the single it says Wrong Place, Wrong Time, but I think on the album it's just called Wrong Place. So I actually have the trifecta here on vinyl, CD, and tape. And the cool thing about this is, well, one, we were talking about concepts a little bit earlier, or at least I mentioned concepts. This one, he is actually giving some stories about, obviously, how he's in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he talks about some of his troubles with the police, even so much where, I think, to open one of the verses, he says, man, I hate cops, or damn, I hate cops, and he's talking about some of his troubles with them and interactions with them. So it's always interesting to see rappers when they're talking about how they feel about the police, their interaction with the police, because it's very different from an NWA versus a Boogie Down Productions versus a De La Funky Homosapien versus someone else, right? It's always different, and usually it's negative. So it's always cool to hear these kind of stories from different perspectives. Another thing that's awesome about this single, not the song, but the single is, and this is something I'm going to pick Soren, why would you not have the song The Undisputed Champs on the album, but it's a B-side on the single? Because you would think that would be included on the album because it has Q-Tip from Tribe on here and Pep Love and J Biz, obviously from Hyro Crew, but you have Q-Tip, who was just so big at the time with Tribe. How do you not include this on the album? It's just, I don't get it.
My guess is that it was recorded later because Wrong Place, Wrong Time was not one of the first singles, and it wasn't early in the game as far as the release of the album. And I also think, so that's the most likely reason, but then beyond that, another possible thing is that back then they had to get all these different rights to release a song, and because Q-Tip was so popular, they would have had to get the rights to release it as a single, then they would have needed the rights to release it as a video. So Jive would have had to have given Elektra permission to do all that stuff because Tribe Called Quest and Q-Tip being Jive Zomba recording artists, Del being on Elektra Entertainment, that probably played some role in it, I would imagine. And then on top of that, putting it on a B-side, it's much less, in Jive's perspective, theoretically, taking away from Tribe's momentum to promote Del the Funky Homosapien, or allowing Del to use Tribe to get his name out there, which, of course, in my opinion, that's hurting the music because you're not giving the fans the opportunity to hear a song like The Undisputed Champs, and Pep Love is phenomenal on there as well, to where you get to really hear it and get it promoted and, in my opinion, done properly. So, you know, I think it's some or all, I would imagine, any of those reasons, but very disappointing too, because had The Undisputed Champs been on No Need for Alarm, that would have been one of my top 3 picks for sure. It's an amazing song. Q-Tip is, I would argue, unusual for him of the era. And so if you haven't heard that song, definitely Google it after you watch our video. It's pretty amazing. And Pep Love, he was one of those guys I really thought this is going to be one of the stars of Hyro. Like, Del is phenomenal, obviously Souls and Casual, Extra Prolific, all this, but I thought Pep Love was going to be one of those dudes that really was going to be the man, because he was dropping these amazing verses on these songs. So anyway, what else did you want to add about Wrong Place, Wrong Time?
That was it. That was my third pick.
Okay, that's not my pick. We are diverging. Mine is Whack MC's, and I think the reason I like this song so much is because of the chorus. Whack MC's, your time is up. And I just always remember, I think I hear that in my head periodically as I listen to some terrible music, but I just, that song and the feel, and Del produced that song as well. So, and it has somewhat of a similar sound or vibe to Catch a Bad One, which I think is also why I enjoy it. But I do think, like, Schoolie D's my favorite rapper, so when the rappers produce themselves, I think there's often an interesting energy. Schoolie D had that throughout his work, and then Del, when he does it, I think it just adds an extra layer of ferocity, especially when he's being braggadocious, that I just really, really enjoy, and think it brings a lot of character and panache to the song. So, you know, Whack MC's, yo, time is up. I just thought that was great. And then Del, you know, always or often breaks down all the corniness of other people. That's one of his staples of his commentary. So to do that again and to do it at a high level on Whack MC's, I thought was great. So, anything you want to add on Whack MC's?
Oh, I've noticed you picked the first 3 songs.
I did. I think it's because the rest of the album, one of the other picks I was going to say was Don't Forget, which I really liked. But that one, because that one's about being true to your team and true to the people that were down for you and all that, and not to forget the people that were there with you early on. So I really like that song too, but I also felt production-wise, the first 3 songs on No Need for Alarm, my picks, happen to be probably my 3 favorite beats on the album. And for people that watch The Great Debaters and listen to a lot of what I talk about in my interviews on Unique Access Entertainment, I often talk about the music when I'm talking about what makes songs so great, because yes, the lyrics are important, and yes, the choruses and all that other stuff, but foundationally it's about the music, and that's what drives, in my opinion, everything. So when you have 3 songs right out the gate on No Need for Alarm where the beats are 3 of my favorite ones, I gotta ride with them, Amir. So that's my 3 picks. You guys got Amir's 3 picks. As always, please hit us in the comment section. We'll get back to you here from the Unique Access Entertainment, or Amir and I will directly ourselves. Hit us in the comment section, like, subscribe, share. While you're down there, please join. There's 3 different tiers, levels different ways you could help us. We're putting a lot of our stuff up ahead of time for people that are members so they can watch it early. So, check it out that way too. But I'm Soren Baker.
Amir Rahimi.
Del, the Funky Homosapien, High Road Crew. Thanks to everyone involved in this great album, No Need for Alarm.
In the beginning, hip-hop was ruled by the East Coast. Then the West Coast rose to prominence thanks to gangster rap.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube.
Hip-hop changed the world. Gangster rap changed the narrative.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
And then changed the world again.
Cause I'll come and take your life away.
The history of gangster rap features unheard stories, unseen photos and documents, all with exclusive interviews from the founders and players who shaped gangster rap.
I think a real gangster rapper has to scare you a little bit.
The history of gangster rap written by veteran rap journalist Soren Baker. In stores now.
Yo, what up? This is DJ Quick. Be sure to pick up my homeboy Soren Baker's book, The History of Gangster Rap, if you really want to know what we do.